Hi guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we are gonna be talking about TLX or the Linux terminal. I'm running Ubuntu Baji, so it's gonna be called TLX in this case, but it's gonna be called console, terminal, or whatever you call it on the version of Linux you're using. Or in the case of a Mac, it's called terminal. Okay, so here we have the Linux terminal, which we can check by using BSH, if I'm not wrong. Okay, no, it's not called BSH. I can't remember. On Macs you can change it to ZSH, but we don't have it here. So yeah, this is just default bash. If you can't tell already, yeah, it's bash. You cannot type BSH. Okay, so yeah, we are gonna start off with some common commands first, like clear, which clears the Linux terminal. Okay, that's one of the commands, and an important one would be sudo. Sudo is super user do. Okay, so super user does something, but in the case of me, who is not a super user, which is Isaiah Go, the user here, it's not a super user, we have to give it super user permission to do something a super user does, or escalated powers, or yeah, role in the computer. So I can change this to a super user account by just doing sudo su. Su stands for super user, so I'll give myself root permission, and to do that I would have to enter my sudo password or my root password. Okay, now as you can tell, I am no longer a normal user. I'm no longer Isaiah Go. I'm root, so I'm the super user now. Okay, so as you can tell, for super users it's a hash sign, while for normal users it's just a $sign. So now whenever I need to do any commands, I wouldn't have to do sudo before it, as I'm already at that required level of permission. I'm already at that escalated level. Yeah, so now if I want to install things, I would usually go to the app store. Okay, so let me just clear the terminal. I'll usually go to the app store. Here is the software store. Okay, yes, this is a virtual machine, so my Mac is still overlaying there. This is the software store. It's laggy cause I'm VMs. Okay, so yeah, they have a lot of things here. As you can see, there's only Office. There's a lot of things. There's Kdenlive, for example. It's a video editor. Instead of just installing here, which I mean, yeah, way more easier, can just enter a password, then authenticate, I will have Kdenlive installed. Yeah, you can see it's slowly installing here. But this, I mean, yeah, great, but some distributions of Linux don't have this stall, so there's no user interface. So back to the terminal, I'm gonna go back to sudo my own user directory. Okay, can I remember how to do this? I think sudo user is go. Okay, never mind, we're just gonna oh yeah, I forgot, it's sudo su. Yeah, sudo su not only gives you super user, SU, I just remember, doesn't stand for super user. SU stands for switch user. So instead of sudo su, which would usually switch to super user, you can switch it to Isaiah Go. So yeah, now I'm back to Isaiah Go and Ubuntu. Okay, so now I'm gonna clear this form. Okay, now we can do sudo apt install. Cause I'm no longer root, I have to use sudo. So sudo apt install Kdenlive. Yes, I don't need my sudo password because I already entered it while changing back to normal user. So yes, I can continue and install all the additional packages needed. But in this case, I don't want to install it, so you can just press N and enter. That's how you use it, and if it's a bit messy, just click and clear. Gone. Okay, so now, that is one of the few things. And if you saw me doing sudo apt install, you're wondering what's apt. Apt is a package manager. It's just like the app store, but terminal form. So if you just type in apps, you can get out the most common list of commands. And in this case, this only applies for Debian distributions or Ubuntu distros. It does not apply to Arch, Red Hat Linux, and Gentoo Linux. It doesn't apply to any other one, and I don't think it applies to Slackware as well. I could be wrong. I don't really remember the names very well, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, for the rest, they'll be using YAM. There's the RPM. There's Pacman for Arch Linux. I know that well, of course, I personally use Manjaro, or used to, but now I generally focus on Debian based. Yeah, Arch based are usually for more advanced users who wants to get deep down in Linux, if I'm not wrong, Arch does not, if you just use the install medium, it doesn't have a graphical user interface at all. It's just a terminal. But yeah, you can install it. Obviously, it's Linux, very customizable. So yeah, okay. So now, at the package manager, just the terminal form of this. Okay, let's move on. Let's clear this again. Okay, get to know the commands around. We can change to other forms. So now I'm currently using bash. I can do sudo apt install zsh. In case I do not know the Linux terminal well enough, I can also install zsh, which is a different kind of terminal, I think, if this is the right zsh I'm installing. Okay, now let's just wait for this. Okay, now if I do zsh, yeah, I can change it to Z shell, and I can do either one of these, which I can try doing too. Okay, so now as you can tell, I just switched to ZSH, so now the terminal looks entirely different, but sudo still works, I think. Yeah. ZSH and bash are usually the same. Personally, I feel this, because I've not gotten to know the terminal very well. Yeah, app still works, except that you see my name is colored, and if I escalate myself to root again, so sudo su, yeah, it still remains the same mostly, but there's no longer a dollar sign, it's a percentage sign. And if I want to change back, I can just sudo su I0 go. Okay, and I'm back to bash for some reason. But yeah, I can do zsh, and I'm back to zsh, and if I do bash, I'm back to bash. So yeah, zsh is a Z shell. It's alternative to bsh. I mean bash, cause yeah, it's an alternative to bash. And there's also pwsh, but that's not installable unless that. Yeah, so PowerShell is Windows. So if you're a Windows user, you can just do sudo snap install. And if you're wondering what snap, it's like apt, but it's for packages that are not available in apt. Sounds very confusing. It's just like how you can sideload apps on Windows without using the Microsoft Store. So yeah. Okay, now if we do this, okay, I guess we cannot do it without this. Just classic. I do not recommend this if you're a new user, but yeah, you can download PowerShell this way. I've never done this before because I'm very used to the Linux terminal, and to be honest, I've not used PowerShell once. Unless I'm in school where it's a necessity to use PowerShell to zip through something. Yeah, this is the right PowerShell. PWSH should bring me into PowerShell terminal. Yes, I'm in PowerShell where sudo shouldn't work. Now my sudo works. But a good reminder, PowerShell in Windows doesn't allow you to do sudo or cd works though. Yeah, change directory, and I'll be talking about that later. I'm just talking about changing the shells for now, getting used to this. So yeah, now I'm just gonna change it back to bash cause it's default for a lot of Linux distributions. Okay, so now we need to do cd and ls. What are cd and ls? So ls, if you already haven't heard of it, it's just listing files. So this lists all the files in the current directory I am, and I'm currently at the home directory. So if I'm not wrong, pwd, it's not password. Pwd means print working directory. So yeah, I'm currently in the home folder inside my own user file. Okay, so now pwd prints where I currently am at. So I can cd and I go here. I'll go back to the root directory. I think it's called that. So yeah, I'm in the root directory. You can see here, I list all the files in the root directory, and if you don't believe that I'm in root directory, I can just do pwd. And yes, I'm at the main directory here, the first one. Okay, so now that I'm here, I can go to different directories. I can cd home, then list the files in there. And the only file in there is my own user folder. Then I can cd my own folder. Cd stands for change directory. So each file is a directory we change into it. Now, yeah. Now we inside the folder with ls, yeah. And now, great, we've learned so much, but how can we actually make a new folder? Okay, so this is the step. We are going to do sudo su first, because we are going to give ourselves root permission. Then we are going to pwd print working directory. Still the same directory, so let me list it. Then I want to make a folder. So mk make dir make directory folder. Okay. Yeah, now if we list again, there's a folder called folder, and to delete it, instead of del on Windows, you have to do sudo, but in this case we are already root, so we are just going to do rmrf slash folder. I do not recommend you do this if it's your first time, because this could literally wreck your whole system if you do this wrongly. Oh, okay, so I forgot that's a dash rf. Okay, yeah, now if I list again, folder is still there. Okay, let me just redo this again, because I don't know, I think rf wipes a directory, so we might not need rf in this case, but yeah, no, we need rf, which is considerably weird considering it does not give back any errors. Can I still see the folder though? Okay, now time to check what I did wrong. If I'm not wrong, you can rf -h, I think. Okay, yeah, we can have help here, then we can see what we are meant to do. Yeah, -r, which is what I did. Oh, but that's for recursive. Okay, so yeah, we are meant to do r and f, because f would forcefully remove it, so that's why we did sudo rmrf. So okay, let's redo this. So rmrf, if I'm not wrong, if you rf, you do slash folder and you must do a dash. Okay, and let's do without the f, so we won't do it forcefully. Can I remove folder? Okay, let's list again. cd folder. Yeah, okay, so now let's try. Maybe you have to do it inside the directory. Yeah, no, yeah, dot will bring you back to the previous directory, which is very weird that I cannot delete the folder right now. If I do sudo, I swear, if this requires me to do sudo, no, yeah, it doesn't require me to do sudo. Okay, I have to find out the reason why this isn't working. If you all know, just leave a comment. But yeah, this usually works. Maybe because I've been playing around with Windows too much recently and I can't really remember my Linux knowledge. But yeah, so usually if you want to, you just rmrf something and -rf. Yeah, this is for folders. If not, you can just remove folder. Yeah, it is a directory, but it just doesn't want to be removed. Oh, never mind, it removes. Turns out you have to clear everything that works. I mean, sure. Okay, so yeah, rmrf does work. Yeah, this is the small things about the Linux terminal that you aren't gonna figure out every day. And now I just realized it's really 12 a.m. That's a very outdated time. Okay, I'm not. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, so now let's continue. These are the common commands. What else do we have? We have sudo nano. It creates a new text file. I'm using GNU Nano 5.4, so I can type hi. Then to exit, it's Control X. Okay, give me a moment. It's Control. Okay, I just can't do this, but on a normal computer, you press Control X. Okay, Control X, it will close Nano, and to save the file, you just type Y, enter. But I cannot do this now because I'm in a virtual machine, and Control X literally disables anything, and Option X does the same thing as well. And Command X, oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's Command X on a Mac, but if you're on a Linux computer, it's Control X, then you press Y and you just write to hi. Okay, then if we list again, we have a file called hi, then we can just do sudo nano hi. Okay, yeah, we have the text here again. Then I can text stuff like welcome, subscribe. Okay, you can type in subscribe. Okay, I can Control X, then press Y, and I'm gonna write this to like. Then I press enter, Y, and I ls. There's a file called like, and there's a file called hi as well. Cause it doesn't replace it, it just makes a new file. So to remove them, let's remember sudo rm hi, and ls again. Hi is gone. Sudo rm like, and like is gone. Easy. Okay, so now these are the basic things you should know. If I'm not wrong, cat also works, but yeah, this is why you can't start cat like this. Okay, time to open another terminal, cause cat doesn't like it that way. Yeah. Okay, another terminal. Sudo su myself first, cause if not I won't have escalator permissions again. So now I'm just gonna sudo back to Isaiah go, and now we are gonna do cat. So we can do sudo cat some file like hi. Okay, yeah, of course I forgot, you have to create a file first. So sudo nano, then hello, then control X Y test file. So if you run, then we ls, there's a test file there. We can do sudo cat test, and it prints out the file. Yeah, that is literally the point of cat. So it prints out the contents of a file. If I'm not wrong, there's Vim as well, but I'm very unfamiliar with Vim. Vim is like Nano, but a harder version that I don't really like to use. That's why I don't really have Vim. I'll stick with Nano if I'm doing coding. An interesting thing, you can also code with Nano. So we can do sudo nano python test.python. Okay. So yeah, now this is a Python file. So if I do import, it actually highlights it. So it actually is like Python. I don't know why it's the thing that you call it in Python, where it actually is like an IDE, I guess. Is it the right term? Okay, yeah, it's just a text editor, code editor. So if I do print, yeah, it also highlights the functions. Then yeah, even parentheses like hi. Then I can just control X, Y, and write that to Python. Then if I do have Python 3 installed, yes I do, then I just have to exit firstly, because I can't run a file inside Python for some reason. We do Python 3, then test.py, and yes, it prints out hi. That's another way of printing things, but you might as well just do sudo cat with a text file. And if I'm not wrong, sudo cat also works with a Python file, so test.py, but it'll print out the contents. So yeah, it prints out the contents. Okay, now let's just clear this, and we have a clean Linux interface again, I guess. Okay, so yeah, these are the most important commands I personally feel that you have to use in Linux. I may have missed out some, so if you feel like I've missed out something, just leave it in the comment section down below, and I'll try to cover them in the next video. So yeah, I hope that this video has been useful for y'all, and y'all have learned something new about the Linux terminal from this video. If you guys like it, please leave a like and subscribe. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!